Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. And you're going to find me on the Louth to Bardney line. Just behind me I've got Benniworth tunnel here, which is 557 yards in length. Now it opened in 1875, closing to passengers in 1951 and eventually closing to rail traffic in 1957. So to the eastern end you would have had the village of Louth, and to the west of me would be the village of Bardney, which is just that way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head the Louth direction into the tunnel. The line opened in stages between 1874 and 1876. Passenger services closed in 1951. So just a little glance at the portal. Looks nice and stone. So just looking at the stone masonry. And there's a bit of graffiti on the approach. Now the approach cutting is quite dense. You can just see all the nettles and the brambles. It's a very dense approach. So we're in the tunnel now, and you can tell just by looking at the, without even doing any research really, you can tell that the line was for just one line. And the shape of the tunnel is kind of different to the usual horseshoe kind of curved tunnel. You can see it kind of staggers at the top. It's like more of a cone shape. You can see the other portal at the end. And just here, you can see here, we've got a lot of loose masonry on the ground here. That's just due to decay. And all the graffiti. And you can just see here all the calcite deposits. And a slight little bit of decay there. You can just see how it's all, look at that. It looks disgusting. You can just see a bit more loose masonry here. I'm not sure what that number 1 means, because I'm not sure if there's any refuges in this tunnel. I'll see as we go along. You've got the remains here of some kind of support. I think it might be for cabling. And just here we've got something, I think it looks old, like old cabling. I don't think it's modern, but it looks like it's been here for years. But it's just left hanging off the wall. Just have a look up there. More calcite or more deposits that's coming down. And if you take a look up there, like I always say with a lot of tunnels, you can always see the old steams, the old soot from the trains. It's been up there for, what, 60, 70 years at least. Little look back at the portal there. So just here we've got like an old gate. I'm not sure if this was used for like cattle or something. But the gate does look a bit rusty, but it is here. Yeah, it looks really old that, so I don't think that's been used for a long time. And just behind here you can see more loose masonry, loose bricks, and all this deposit. A few little beer cans. And just on the side we've got more cable wiring. Now, I'm not sure if that's part of the old railway or if it's been put in recently. And just as I head further down, you can actually hear it starting to get a little bit damp, so I'm going to see what I come across when we get down here. And we're just above here now, starting to get these, I think, the stalactites, or is it still calcite deposits? There's more of a calcite deposit. Looks a bit like stalactites. Just look at all that there. It's starting to get a little damp as we walk further in. So probably about 50 yards in. It's starting to get a little bit more echoey now. Now, I'm not sure if there's any shafts in this tunnel. Now, I didn't mention actually that this tunnel was actually called High Street Tunnel as well as Benniworth Tunnel. As we kind of drove down High Street. As we made our way through the countryside. So it actually had two names, so you can call it Benniworth, you can call it High Street. Wow, look at all these deposits. So let's head a little further down. Yeah, it's just a little bit damp now, it's starting to, oh, it's been dripped on there. Look at that. So I think majority of the interior is all red brick. As you can see, it's been dripped on again. A few more loose bricks there. And on the floor, we've got the old stone, like, well, sort of like ballast. So we've just approached our first refuge. You can call it a refuge or a recess, whichever. Bit of a different shape refuge to what I've seen in other tunnels. It's made out of red brick. It's quite a decent condition. You can see all this build-up of deposits that's on the side. Look at that. Like a wooden beam at the bottom. So as we get kind of more to the center of the tunnel, you can see a lot more soot deposits at the top here. It's just absolutely caked in it. And it kind of continues for majority of the length down. It's brilliant. And that cabling seems to venture more through the tunnel. We've got a few more bits of loose masonry over there. Now, I've not come across any old railway relics yet, so there's no kind of remains of any kind of buffers or anything. Just pretty much the ballast. And I'm not exactly sure these numbers are for. I used to think the numbers were for the refuge holes, but we've only come across one. So I've just come across some cable hooks. You can just see a really old rusted cable hooks. Not used for years. Again, a little close-up of the deposits at the bottom, look at that. And there's a few more just as you kind of move along the tunnel. And then check this out. You can see all this build up. Look at that. Got a few more hooks. You can see the old cable in here. And a bit of the decay masonry at the bottom. See the old red brick. So as I've made my way further down, it did look like that there was a change in the masonry work. However, I'm thinking that all underneath there's still the red brick, but is that just so, or is it actually a different kind of brick? If you've got any comments, just leave them in the bottom. But if you can just see, if I take a step back, you can just see a change in the lining. So there's the red brick there, and then it seems to go a lot darker now. I think there is a lot of soot there, but I'm not sure if it's a different change of brick. So if you have a look here, you can see the cabling still continues along the tunnel. I think it might continue for the full length, I'm not sure. But to be honest, apart from the little bits of loose bricks, the tunnel does seem to be in quite decent condition. There are bits of fallen masonry, but nothing too dangerous, which is good. You can just see the change of the shape of the arch of brick just up at the top. Now it's quite, I'd say, unique compared to other tunnels that I've been in, because you usually get the old horseshoe, but this is kind of like more of a cone shape. I mean, you might want to say different. Let me know what you think in the comments. You can see the cabling just continues. Now, I don't think there is any shafts in this tunnel, so I've not come across any, and it doesn't look like there is any. We're about halfway in now. So we've just stumbled across this. I'm not sure if it's actually part of the tunnel, not if it's just been brought in. It's got some writing on it. I'm just going to see what it says. Jacksdale British made. I'm not too sure. Is that some sort of piping or from a drainage system? Because if you have a look into the floor there, you can just see there's like a gap. Now I'm not sure if that's been dug out of the ground, which was some sort of system for the tunnel, or if it was just left there and someone's moved it, so it's kind of left the dint. And just here, found a drainage system, like an old drainage system, literally still, so it must be blocked in there, but you can just see the water in there along the few cans and part of that piping. So I think, yeah, this was a drainage system, but you can just see it looks absolutely minging in there. But yeah, that was the old drainage system. You can have a look. You can see how it's rusted and decayed over time. So just as we made our way to the eastern end, you can see actually in the ground there's some more of that piping, and it's all lifting out of the ground. You can just see here there's more. So yeah, I think I was correct. It was an old pipe system or drainage system that was in the tunnel. You can clearly see it's all wrecked and just mangled up. And I think people have been vandalising it. You can see there's no way that's happened by itself, but it actually kind of goes further and further down the tunnel. Kind of disappears into the old floor there. And here we've got another drainage system. different kind of drainage system actually. And again, it's just all rusted over. No signs of any water going through it either. Maybe a little bit at the bottom. Yeah, you can just see a little bit of water in there, but just at a standstill. So looking back that way, looking back at the western end, we're probably about 350 yards in, and probably got about another 200 yards to go to the eastern end. Anyway, let's head on. So just looking back up at the brick lining, you can see actually it does seem to change for a exceptionally amount of, well, you can see, yeah, for quite a long period of the tunnel it does change, so I think there was a change in the brick. And just as we've made it further down, we've got this like new deposits here. I don't know what that is, but that looks disgusting. Is it like old plant that's grown and then, not sure. The cable lining still carries on. So we've approached just only our second refuge in the tunnel. Now this one looks a little bit more, like it's a bit more derelict. You can see some of the at the top of the arch, some of the stones and the bricks, sorry, the bricks have come loose, just down there. And hello, we've got somebody joining us today. Brilliant. You can just see, yeah, the cabling continues. That damaged masonry. So dense and all. Did I even bring the drone?
This?
Yeah. I need to cut that. So as we head to the western portal, you can see a little bit more decay. All this masonry that's just dripping off. I think that's just due to the moist, the wetness. And as we head a little bit further down, you can see there's another refuge, only the third refuge of the tunnel. And we've got another friend just in the corner down there. You've got all these wooden beams. Now I think these were just put in here just for like a campfire, I believe. You can see a Kit Kat wrapper there. You can just see the western portal just to the corner. Another wooden beam. I don't think that's anything to do with the tunnel or the railway though. Just in the far distance down there, you can just see the western entrance as we approach the eastern portal. Nice little picture that. You can just see how much more the tunnel decays towards the western portal. Or should I say the eastern portal. Look at that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was High Street, also known as Benniworth Tunnel. 550 yards in length, completed. Now the tunnel inside sections of it was in pretty decent condition, but there was a lot of loose masonry in there. No major railway relics left in there, but a nice single bore tunnel, and I'd say decent condition. So yeah, the portals on either side look the same. Nice old stone masonry. So yeah, and it's also got the brick lining within, so it's got a change of brick at the bottom compared to the top, if you can actually see from here.